D, wait for it, delightful.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds? So on this episode, I am going to do a comic book review. So I am a huge comic book reader, and I don't get to a lot of comic books right away because I have so many. I probably need to cut down on them, but how can you cut down on such goodness? So one, I wanted to do a review, as you may have noticed from the title, is I wanted to do a review on Justice League of America Volume 5 Legacy. Now, I just want to talk about why I read it at first. So I read it to begin with because I do like Justice League. I like the Justice League stories and everything, and I like the whole Rebirth storyline and the New 52. I do like the New 52, even though I know some people don't like it. But the reason why I love it is I love DC, and I also love the Justice League. I love hearing about their stories, and I think they're just a great team. Plus, I love stories of like this post-apocalyptic world where, you know, it's in this dystopian future where, you know, the bad guys have kind of won, so the good guys are like hanging out, like kind of like a Days of Future Past where the good guys have lost and the bad guys have won, but the good guys are still trying to keep forward, but it's just a small group that's trying to keep pushing on. And then I also love stories of where you have superheroes and it's the story of their children. I like to see what, you know, going forward, what these people might bring forth as far as the superhero legacy goes. And I think that this team did a pretty good job as far as this team of new kids go. Okay, so first one I want to talk about is I'm going to talk about the characters. And I'm going to go from my favorite to my least favorite and everything. And I'm doing it this way. I do it a little bit differently than the past. But so the one thing I'm not going to talk about is I'm not going to talk about the villains because I don't. They'll have their own section, and then I'm not going to talk about the Justice League only because like I like the Justice League, but this is not my favorite iteration of the Justice League, and I'm just gonna boom. Okay. So my favorite of this team is Hunter, and he is the son of Wonder Woman and the Darkness, which we will get into later when we talk about the Darkness and like the whole plan and everything. But I like him. I think he's a strong leader, and I think that when he realizes what he's got to do, which is, I mean, he's angry at his mother for good reason. She abandoned him as a child. But then when he realizes that he's got to kill her because he thinks that she is sovereign, then he's like, we got to kill Wonder Woman, even though she's my mom, and he's still angry, but sometimes, even though you're angry at your mom, you might not want to kill her, but he is just straight up, we have to kill her to save the future, so he just takes that into his hands, and I admire that. The next one, for my favorite is I really like Cruz/Nora, and she is the daughter of the Flash and the Green Lantern, Jessica Cruz. Now, I like this character a lot. She will be appearing in the Flash season 5. At least the Nora Allen name will be in there. I'm not sure if her code name is Cruz, but I like her. I think she's fun and witty, kind of like the Flash is usually. So I do like that character a lot, and I think that she offered a lot to the story. Next would be Serenity, which is the daughter of Aquaman and Mera. I liked her. She abandoned Atlantis, even though it was under the brink of being taken over. And it's the last free city in the future. And I think that even though her dad's a bad guy, she's still fighting on, and and then I think she's a good guy. And then next is Cube, and he is the son of Cyborg. I really like Cube. I think that for the most part, these characters and their stories got pushed to the back of the comic book when it came to character development. Especially like Cube. I mean, you did get a lot about him in this comic book, but not as much as I personally would have liked to have seen. And then for my least favorite on this new iteration of the Justice League is the twins, which is Jason and Jenny, and they are the children of the Flash and the Green Lantern, Jessica Cruz, like Nora was. And so these two, their powers are a little crazy because they just take in all of the emotions of the spectrum, the color spectrum. So they have Green Lantern powers as opposed to Nora, who has the Flash powers. But they just take it on in a way that I'm not sure if I like it or not. But it worked out for the story, and it was kind of weird, but nice at the same time and everything. And it did end up working. So next I'm going to talk about the villains. And the first villain I'm going to talk about is the Darkness. Now, this is just the embodiment of hate and evil, and I just thought the Darkness was lame. He was a lame bad guy for this. I mean, I get it, but at the same time, I just go, it's just lame. So what happens is the Darkness infects Wonder Woman and impregnates her with Hunter. So, and so they need Hunter, so I guess they can take Hunter over and then just spread the darkness throughout the universe or whatnot. It's just, and then the twins, they mesh it into this big ball of nothing, and then they take it away with them, and it's just weird. It's just weird. I didn't like the Darkness as a bad guy. Then we have Sovereign, which I guessed early on that it was Wonder Woman. I mean, you could tell it was a woman in like the first panel that she was in because she had boobs. But I have to say, like, I guessed Wonder Woman and I guessed wrong. It ended up being Hippolyta, her mother, which I thought was a fun reveal and everything. It wasn't like the biggest reveal in the world, but it was kind of fun. And then we have Curry, and I liked Curry. It's just Aquaman, but he's called Curry, and I liked it in the sense that what he had done was he to not die, he had put Cyborg's dead body parts, his electronic parts, onto him, and then just became Curry, which a bad guy working for the Darkness. And I kind of like that concept, but I mean, it wasn't my favorite, but I did kind of like it, and I thought it was very new and fresh. Now, as far as this, the ending goes, the ending was kind of weak in my opinion. In fact, I feel like it was the weakest part of this comic book because I just feel like there's I loved the beginning with the future, and then the kids go back in time to save the future, but then, you know, the middle was all right, but then the ending was just so weak. It was just like, all right, what are we going to do? All right, let's just wrap it up. Let's just real quick get this over with, and I feel like that's what they did, which is fine, but at the same time I go, you know, as someone who's paying for this, I deserve a little bit better writing. But, you know, you can't win them all. So, would I love to see these kids again in another comic book? Of course I would. I love, like I said before, I love kids of superheroes and making their own teams and then seeing how they develop as superheroes. And I just think it's great. So yes, I would love to see this iteration of the Justice League from the future, especially now that the Darkness has been taken over. Will they still exist? Will Hunter still exist? And of course, this is an Elseworld now story, you know, and on a different multiverse. So I would love to see that. Now, should you read this? Let me just tell you right now, if you are not a hardcore DC fan or Justice League fan, I'd say don't read it. I mean, it's, you know, this right here is the trade paperback. This is the comic and everything, but this is all the issues of it, and this cost $17 plus tax or whatnot. And so I would say don't waste your money on it. If you can borrow it from somebody, then read it. But I would say no. I mean, the Brian Hitch, who is a pretty good writer. He wrote The Authority. That one was okay too. It's not a bad comic book, but it's not the best comic book. So I would say if you don't want to be the person, if you've got comic books that you are loving and the writing is so good, don't waste your money on this. But if you want something new to kind of, you know, cleanse your palate because you're getting so oversaturated with the stories that you're reading now, then maybe pick this up and everything and check it out and see if you like it. So that is my review for the Justice League Volume 5 Legacy. Tell me what your thoughts are on this comic book, if you liked it, if you didn't like it, which character was your favorite. And you can leave those comments in the section down below. If you like this video, I would greatly appreciate a like. If you are new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I would so greatly appreciate it. And I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.